there's sort of this misconception about healing, and like one day healing will end and you'll feel better all the time, and you'll always just feel good, and you won't have to clear anything, and you won't have to face any of your darkness because you'll have transmuted it all. And manifestation will be instant, and you'll have no more problems, and you'll get whatever you want. I don't know. Maybe I'm exaggerating, but there is this kind of idea that healing ends, and for me, I don't think that's true. I think we're in an evolutionary realm, and we're in animal bodies. So I think there's always going to be more shadow to meet, more density to meet, and we're in a collective as well. So even if you manage to transmute your entire shadow and your ancestral trauma that's been passed down to you, and if you just manage to move through it all, I mean, you're still in a collective, right? So, but I will say, what does happen is you fall in love with evolution. You fall in love with digesting darkness. You fall in love with being an alchemist. You see that as like the reason you're here. And there's something in you. You become love itself at the end of the day. And love always turns towards darkness. Love always turns towards that which is in separation. So the part of you that wants healing to end and has a fantasy about what it'll be like on the other side and all of this, that part of you disintegrates. And we could say that it's like kind of the egoic will, the egoic desire. But you know, we're on Earth, people. I mean, it's gonna be there's gonna always probably be something to confront and digest and move through, and there's gonna always kind of be like this happening with the energies and ebb and a flow. And that's the other thing the spiritual ego will do. Is like, oh, I got it. It'll be feeling really good. It'll just have a breakthrough, and it'll kind of have this sense of, I got it. And it'll think it's gonna be like this forever because now it figured it out. But that part of us is humbled once again, because then you'll find yourself in a hellish realm of suffering, like 2 days later, a week later, a month later, a year later, whatever. But that's good that part gets humbled. And it's good we fall in love with evolution, because change is beautiful. Growth is incredible. You know, every time I'm being broken down, there's a deep appreciation now, like, thank you, God, thank you for upgrading my consciousness. Thank you for dissolving what I thought I was. Thank you for showing me in an even deeper way who I really am. And so there becomes this peacefulness. A deep peace reverberates underneath the alchemical process, you could say. And you are that deep peace. You are that static, non-changing peace at the end of the day. You're the one that's just kind of, in the deepest sense, you're the one who's holding space for the change, for the evolution, for the healing that goes on and on and on. I mean, you'll probably heal as much as you can in this body and then come back to Earth and do it again in a different body, and a different body, and in a different body, until this Earth realm literally transforms into an enlightened realm, until you're literally until you literally incarnate into an enlightened body. It's one thing to have enlightened consciousness. That's great. We're all enlightened consciousness. But can you imagine being born into an enlightened body, you know, being born into an enlightened realm in form on Earth? Like, oh, it's giving me shivers thinking about that. So we're here to do these we're here to transform, we're here to transmute, we're here to alchemize, we're here to light a fire to the darkness in a loving way, but also in a no-nonsense way too, you know? We're here to come to know our power, and to find these things out. You know, we got to be tested. We're going to go through times that break us down, that are too much, you know, and it's the psyche, the ego's fantasy that one day it'll just always feel good, because this is what the psyche does. It wants to chase pleasure, and it wants to avoid pain. That's that paradigm. But God dissolves that paradigm. Evolution dissolves that paradigm to where you don't move away from pain, to to where you just walk in the truth and it doesn't matter what it feels like. And so, yeah, there's like, and that part of, here's like the paradox. It's like, I don't know if it's a paradox, but here's the thing. It's like that part of you that just wants to feel good and wants to avoid feeling bad. So it creates some fantasy. And a lot of spirituality I don't really pay attention to any of this stuff anymore, but when it was first introduced to me, a lot of spiritual stuff can really perpetuate this fantasy too. This fantasy of just always feeling good and not ever feeling negative emotions. And that's something you lose too. You don't even look at it like positive and negative. You see everything as divine. But the reason that fantasy even exists is because there's this part of you that just wants relief. And actually the relief comes when that part of us, when we're able to see that that's not who we really are. And the relief comes when we actually surrender into who we really are through being broken down. And it's almost like that identity that wanted perpetual just pleasure and never to want to feel pain, that identity itself dissolves. That it's gone. Like over here in my experience, it's gone. It can flare up here and there. There can be something like that. But it's just very kind of, I don't know how to say it, just almost non-existent. And there's just something here that just feels satisfied and fulfilled, just resting in the truth. And here's the thing, when that part of us that's chasing pleasure and wanting to avoid pain, when that part of us is deconstructed and dissolved, there just naturally is more of a deeper rest, even if there's hellfire moving through the nervous system. Even if there's like an intense alchemical process, there's still a deep sense of resting in peace that pervades the experience. And so, and that can come and go to different degrees. Sometimes it's like, whoa, not much peace here right now, just a lot of fire, just a lot of transmutation. And then other times, you'll experience incredible states, we'll say. I don't even want to say that kind of stuff though, because it can be like a hook. The ego will hook into that. Incredible states, and it'll start chasing. Chasing is suffering. If you're chasing an inner state, you're suffering. A lot of people will chase an inner state so then they can get something. They want to be a magnet of attraction or something. And like, look, I'm not going to say law of attraction isn't real or something, but the best way to live what I've discovered is the best way to live is just to live as love itself. And that's peace, when you're not chasing something, trying to manipulate reality, trying to change things, when you're just fully here, enjoying and being in love with the process of being a human being on earth in 2024, when you just embrace being an alchemist. Because our mind, that part of us that wants to use the law of attraction like a video game controller. I love how Matt Kahn said that once. That part of it doesn't even, that's like a conditioned part of us a lot of times. It doesn't even know what it really wants. That desiring to use law of attraction to get something, that could be coming from your conditioning, from your cultural programming, from fear, from lack, from scarcity. I've realized the more I surrender and the more I say, I actually don't even know what I want. I don't know what I want, God. You show me the way. The more, so many chills right now, the more I'm guided into experiences and life circumstances that I actually really wanted in my soul, that were actually authentic to my true self. And the more I realized what I was trying to get through managing and creating a certain inner state or whatever, that was all I was just trying to get love, or I was moving from trying to get love and validation and from an ego. And thankfully, a lot of times that shit would just never work out, because God was like, there's a better way. I know what you really want. It's like, let the universe show you what you really want. It knows. That spiritual ego that wants healing to be over and just wants to feel good all the time and never feel pain. It's coming from a very shallow place, and it doesn't know what you truly want. And you might actually get what you want from that place. And this is a blessing too. You might actually get what you want from that place, and it's not going to make you happy. And you'll realize that you'll suffer getting what you want from that egoic place. You'll actually suffer it. And then that's another way to break down that identity, because you'll see like, oh, I got what I wanted what I thought I wanted, and I was still miserable, and it still didn't do it for me. Maybe it gave you a high for like a day or two or whatever, but it didn't really quench that longing that you thought it would. And so that's another way that life helps you see through those egoic desires, is it will give you what you want sometimes, and you'll suffer it. And I love how Adyashanti will say that, master the law of attraction and get what you want and see it doesn't make you happy, or just work really hard and get a bunch of cold hard cash and go buy what you think that you really want, and it'll show you it won't make you happy. And the only thing that's going to make you happy is what your soul truly wants to experience. And your soul's here to experience alchemy, transformation, healing. It's here to experience it all. Your soul loves density. Your soul loves darkness. Your soul loves everything equally. Every experience is equally valid and valuable to your soul. So yeah, this video got longer than I thought. I hope it did something good. All right, love you.